Thank you, Chair. One thing that I want to tell you about me is that I am an educator, and I always wanted to be an educator ever since I was 7. I remember there was a time when I came to Joburg when I was 7 years, and I passed by Wits University, and my father said to me, this is Wits University. One day I want you to go there and study. What do you think you want to study? And I said, I want to be a teacher. And indeed, after matric, I went straight to teaching. And it's a privilege for me to have been in the education system for so long. And I think I would not want to change my career for anything else. So today, my presentation will be on volunteerism by mentors, working towards a self-sustainable initiative in Olympiads and related competition. So what I'm going to cover is I'm going to look at various types of mentoring processes that are available that can be adopted by Olympiad and competition organizers. And I'm also going to demonstrate how teachers can be engaged in order to enhance the whole process of mentoring. And lastly, I'm going to propose a model which includes teachers as part of it, which will be sustainable and can be adopted by the Olympiads and competition organizers. So I'm going to start off by defining volunteerism. What is volunteerism? Colleagues before me, I have spoken a lot about volunteerism. So we all know that it is an act whereby individuals are willing to give up their time, they are willing to give up free labor, all in the name of wanting to contribute towards changing lives. And many of us are in the industry where we are changing lives of our young children. Mentoring is the process whereby we have a relationship or a partnership where a more experienced person with expertise helps another person with less expertise. So I know in our competitions and Olympiads, many of us, we do have some sort of mentorship program. Do we ever think about how successful are we in implementing those programs? Do we only look at results? The program itself is sustainable. So who are we engaging as mentors? And how do we engage them? So my presentation to you today is, have we ever thought of teachers? What role can they play in the process? Do you think they can add value in the mentorship program in the competitions and Olympiads? I strongly feel that if we make use of teachers in the process, we can make the whole process to be sustainable. Why am I saying that? Teachers are always in the classroom with the learners, the very same learners we are targeting. So why not make them part? Why not leverage on their presence? Many a times, I've been in the process where I'm trying to implement a mentorship program. It's a process to establish the relationship with the schools. It's a process to establish a relationship with the learners. Here is this person who has a relationship with the learners. Why not make use of the teachers? Olympiads and competitions are part of the co-curricular activities. So why not? Why are we not taking advantage of that? Many times as organizers, we struggle to retain learners in our competitions and Olympiads. Many times we are struggling to have that continuity. We all know that if learners stay longer in the program, they benefit more. So who can we utilize in the process to make sure that we retain those learners and there's continuity over the years? Like I said, the teacher has an integral role to play in that. In the process also, we need to make sure that as organizers that we do empower our teachers on the types of mentoring that is available. The teacher, of course, can do one-on-one. We don't have the capacity and the time to do one-on-one with the learners. Once the teacher has done one-on-one, the teacher can then let the learners continue with the activities so group mentoring can happen in the process. Peer mentoring, we can have learners mentoring each other, but we need that adult intervention between the learners. Who can assist in that? The teacher can do that. Reverse mentoring. If we don't engage teachers, we are actually denying teachers an opportunity to learn. I had an opportunity to work with learners and the teachers, and over the years, I have learned so much from the learners. I have learned so much from the teachers. So reverse mentoring can happen in the process. So there's so much learning opportunities happening between the learners and the teachers. Okay, continuing with that, we also have flash mentoring and the lastly team mentoring. Sometimes teachers are reluctant to assist, not because they don't want. There might be that little gap that you can feel, that quick training or little bit of information that the teacher is lacking that you can provide that will help the teacher to still be part of the program. So flash mentoring can be included in the process. Team mentoring, that is where we have a group of mentors carrying, assisting a group of mentees. Of course, we want to see that happening, but it's unlikely that we would have that. So in the real world, what is happening is that we tend to do this mentoring at the highest level. When learners are now probably going to the national level of the competition of the Olympiad, then the mentor is introduced. So even learners at the lowest level of our competition and Olympiads do need some kind of mentoring. Just go back. The mode of delivery, depending on your circumstance and the environment you work in, you can adopt any of these three. Like I said, face-to-face, the teacher, of course, the teacher can do that. But for some of us, online can be ideal for us, but at times it is important to have a combination of the two, which is face-to-face and online, and that is what we normally refer to as hybrid. Each one of them has some kind of benefit, but that will be detected by the circumstances under which you work. There are challenges that are associated with the mentoring process. If we implement an ad hoc process of mentoring, what kind of results do we expect? And we know very well that time is a problem. Teachers are overloaded with work. We don't have luxury of time to do the mentorship. So another challenge can be cost constraints, traveling, having enough capacity of mentors to do the program. So teachers can be a solution as a part of the mentorship program. So we need not have to worry about all these challenges if we engage. When I say engage teachers, I'm not saying that we give the teacher the whole responsibility. You will see later on the model that there's a specific role that the teacher can play in the process. And there are some actions that also impact the mentoring process negatively. Overdependence is one of them. In as much as we want to help, but at times, if we are not monitoring the whole process, it can result as a futile exercise. Learners can be dependent to their mentor in such a way that there is no learning taking place. So we have to guard against overdependence in such a way that learners are encouraged to ask thought-provoking questions, and also that mentors need not provide all the information all the time, that at times they need to ask learners, what do you think? How would you think that you would solve this particular problem? We also have to make sure that we guard against inconsistent implementation. We have to be consistent in implementing our mentorship program. And lack of monitoring and evaluation. And like I said, if we exclude teachers from the process, it can impact on the whole success of the model. All right, now, here is the model that I am proposing. Just go back. So it's between the organizers, the mentor, and the mentee. And what brings the three together is the teacher. So the organizers have the responsibility to recruit, select mentors, provide training. That training has to include the teacher. If I provide you with a mentor, I will say thank you, and that's just about it. But if I'm part of the process from the onset, I know what is expected of the mentor. I know what is my role. I'm likely to have that buy-in. And the mentor has to set ground rules for the relationship of that mentorship, that this is what I will do for you. Your responsibility is to do that. Why must we do that? Learners need to take ownership of their work. Yes, they will be provided with the help. However, at the end of the day, they must do the actual work. And the mentor, if the mentor comes up with a timeline, the learner must adhere to the timeline, and the timelines must be shared with the teacher and the mentor. So to sustain the model, we have to formalize the process. It cannot be ad hoc. And we must avoid overdependence. And the whole program has to be flexible, because we don't have enough time to do all this. And we must have feedback sessions on the actual process. I'm not saying feedback on the progress of the learners, but evaluation of the actual mentoring process, and we must give feedback to one another about it. And lastly, it has to be a win-win situation. If I see my learners succeeding in the program, as a teacher, I'm likely to be part of it. If my learners succeed, I succeed as well in the process. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. And in closing, I think teachers can play a role in sustaining mentorship in Olympiads and competitions.
How many?
It is 2 eyes.
I didn't see it.
So when your brain goes here, right? At the bottom here, right? Those are